And we're off. And feel free to jump into menti.com to be able to access the anonymous answers for when the slides come up. But welcome to your RXrecourse Health Workshop with yours truly, Coach Dan, and we're going to discuss deep health today. A really valuable topic, I find, when we have them, and the discussions that come from it. And it might not be always what's discussed on the spot, but it's going to be maybe the thoughts during and then the action afterwards that are the beneficial elements to a workshop like this, like many other workshops. But this just has you thinking a little bit about kind of a more well-rounded approach, which I'm a big fan of. So we can go to menti.com and then use the code word that's above, which is 31885. And if you do end up going into that, just give me a thumbs up on the screen to let me know that you're in. If anybody does go in there, we've got one. Yeah, today is going to just talk about what well-rounded health maybe means, and it's different for everybody. Everybody has different strengths, I would say, with things that they're doing really well, that they chose to be a priority, that they're taking action on and practicing. And there's other things that we all have maybe some blind spots or some gaps with. So today is to bring up maybe what is or could be a well-rounded version of taking care of yourself, your deep health, and hopefully opening up your heart and mind to, having a more well-rounded approach versus just mental physical, which is some of the most notorious terms to be associated with being healthy and being well. So without further ado, let's get started. What do you think deep health means? So what does that term deep health mean to you? And please feel free to put an answer into the area where you can in Menti if you've logged in, and we can have there be some maybe spin-offs. And it's just nice to hear from the audience what it is that deep health means and giving that some thought. Deep health. Get your snorkel on. I'm just not there yet with snorkels and scuba diving. I've got lots of friends, and I'm sure others do too, who go underwater and do these things, but I'm just not there yet. I haven't made nice with the underwater world yet. So good physical health, overall well-being, good mental state. Yes, like really, these are well-known things to do with, maybe where we strive with our health and wellness. And when you hear the term good health, these are great. Thank you very much for those answers. An overview. So we're just, as part of deep health, like what is deep health? A little bit of an overview of that. We'll go through those items. Relational is part of it. Existential. This is the one where I don't know. I think the more I coach, the more I find out that a lot of people are not in tune with their existential health. And once they are, they get a heck of a lot happier. And it doesn't have to be going to a desert and taking peyote. It can be something completely small and in terms of an adjustment in their day. But existential health, your purpose, and things like that are really, really good things to consider if you're not yet. And I find that'll be a good one. Hopefully that opens up some eyes. Mental, we talked about this. This is notoriously a big part of it. Physical, notoriously right there, being physically, having that be included as part of the spectrum of your health and wellness. Emotional, I find that's also, I think with existential and emotionals are two maybe shuffled away, swept away as they'll fix themselves, and that'll just, that'll be something that I'll take care of when I retire versus a 45-year-old who's got another 20 years left in the working world. And then environmental, that's a lot of tactical stuff where you can take action on that stuff literally today, and it gives you a huge improvement on your spaces where you spend most of your time. So what is deep health? It's beyond physical appearance. So it's beyond, how you look aesthetically. It's striving to improve all of the other elements of your health and wellness beyond just the physical element. So we work out, cool. Why do you work out? People work out to build muscles, maybe, tone their bodies to a certain version of themselves that they want to be. Maybe it's performance, so they're able to accomplish certain tasks, and that's all great and that's awesome. But there's so many more elements to health and wellness that are beneficial to a person in terms of being able to sustain really good versions of themselves for a long period of time, beyond physical. So we're talking about deep health as being a thing that's beyond physical appearance and striving for that. Fostering and celebrating purpose and joy. The more I coach, the more I'm coaching people to be happy, period. And I want their time with me individually, if I have them individually, small group, team, a corporate team, you name it, to hopefully have that person advocating for themselves and seeking out, identifying, and then pursuing what is their purpose, and hopefully them enjoying their time on earth, but like having more joy in their life. So celebrating and fostering purpose and joy. Pursuing the ability to think, feel, live, connect. These are, Wednesday at 12 o'clock conversations, everyone. These are real things. And these are things that at times maybe they do get discussed if you have a certain circle of friends or a family member with which you're comfortable with disclosing these conversations with. And we're not going to ask anybody to disclose that publicly or in an open forum, but their internal dialogue type questions about what is deep health and what are we pursuing, and how RXrecourse, through our experiences as coaches and us having coached a bunch of people and groups successfully, how we kind of nudge people towards deep health by these elements, right? They're very broad. Obviously, we can dive into them a little bit more. So, relational, happy man. What is relational? Connection. So being part of the connection just pertains to us pursuing, perhaps being part of groups, clubs, something bigger than yourself. Could be via charity work, could be fundraising, recreational sports teams, any hobby, you name it, and quality friendships. So any sort of connection that you can think of that is those elements. And that's part of just fulfilling kind of the element that is relational health that'll have you be more well-rounded with how you walk through your weeks. And that's not to say that time by yourself doesn't have extremely high value. I'm a huge advocate for you spending time by yourself with no one else and no devices and having conversations, not like talking to yourself, but just having those times removed, and then also having there be what would be connections in the ways that I just mentioned. So both are valuable, but that's a big part of relational health. And that's a thing that hopefully, in the big goal of being well-rounded with how you pursue being healthy and well, that we approach if it's a gap or a blind spot currently. So if you already have these things established, great job. You might be doing too much of it, and you might need to maybe shorten that time spent with your connections to go maybe pursue a different element in the deep health spectrum. But if you do currently have that, great. This is not to say like do more of it if you already have it. You might have the sufficient amount of connections and you're good. But if you have none of them, let's maybe open our eyes up or open our minds up to potentially having some of them. There's lots of value and fill your cup type moments that come on the other side of having spent time with others. Specifically, if you're doing stuff for a bigger reason than yourself, such as volunteering and charity work, that is a very big influence on your happiness. So you feel happy because you've influenced the world to be a better place, and you had a direct interaction and action towards that. That's a really good feeling. And, reading a book is great, but that doesn't necessarily make the world a better place. But other things do in terms of the connection with charity and fundraising efforts. Authenticity, being genuine no matter what. And this, I'm Dutch, so I like saying this. but I mean, this could be for any background, I find, because, you know, I have Italian friends, I've got Irish friends, I've got my former gym in Mississauga had every single ethnicity you could imagine, and we had amazing potlucks. But neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, like, it doesn't matter about ethnicity being the thing as to why you're authentic. It's just being authentic. So I do what I say I'm going to do, and I'm genuine and honest no matter what. And I do things that are good for me and my personal well-being, despite how it sounds to others. So using the word selfish in a positive way, because it will prolong your happiness and health. And it's going to be a thing that has you have less internal turmoil, to be honest, if you're just authentic and you learn and practice to become a more authentic version of yourself. It's not easy to do if you're not maybe practicing it as often as you want. I don't want to go to a party. You go to a party. I don't want to, I disagree with something, but I just go along with it. There's small examples, but there's lots of opportunities for us to continue to practice being authentic, and it just frees you up. And it's a really good thing to practice in the relational realm of deep health. Having a feeling of I belong. So having an area, a space, some sort of form, some sort of time in your week where you think, you know what, I belong here. That feels good. You know, we've obviously just RXrecourse arose in the midst of lockdowns coming through Ontario, and we want to be able to, you know, continue to work hard to advocate for all the things that we have in our workshops. This was being one of them. Is just finding a place where you belong. It could be with a group of friends once a week where you go do stuff that you enjoy doing together. It could be anything, but having that sense of I belong here while you're in the moment of that thing that you're doing is a big part of relational health. And, just love for people to kind of continue to pursue that. What could or will you do to improve your relational health? Gone through some of these elements: connection, authenticity, a sense of I belong. What could or will you do to improve your relational health? Join a marathon. I like meeting folks out somewhere to have an exit strategy in the terms of being able to enjoy